How many times have you said to yourself, I'm going to succeed, and yet you keep coming up short? You probably noticed that high achievers with heart do things differently, but you just can't put your finger on it. You're curious about why high achievers accomplish more and have more satisfying relationships. It's because success is the result of your mindset and the consistent actions you take. This show is designed with your success in mind. By revealing these powerful patterns of our dynamic individuals and guest experts, you can model what they do and apply to your future success now. Let's roll up our sleeves and get started. My name is Brigitta Hoeferle, and this is the Success Patterns Show.
And welcome everyone to the Success Patterns Show. My name is Brigitta Hoeferle, and we are going to highlight golden nuggets today. You sure want to have something to write with and something to write on. And also make sure that you're sharing this with others, because it's not just you that want to have really good success patterns. Now, success patterns are valuable. They're more valuable than ideas. Now, let me explain to you. Ideas, while very powerful, require trial and error and a lot of time to put into action. Think about manufacturing. You first have an idea, then a proof of concept, then a working prototype, and then small production pieces, batches, and finally full-scale production. This can take months, maybe even years, and you might have met some people that are collectors of good ideas, but they do little else. Forget everything you've heard about ideas. You're not looking for ideas. You are looking for success patterns. Success patterns are different. Success patterns are better. Why? Well, success patterns are proven, have a logical sequence of steps to follow, have an action imperative, and deliver consistent results. In today's content-rich program of the Success Pattern Show, you're going to learn valuable success patterns because we have a very special guest today, and we're going to talk shop today. His name is Jim Anderson, and way back in 1999, he started his entrepreneurship and being a business owner, and he founded Anderson Automotive in Marion, Iowa. Now, 24 years later, Anderson Automotive has grown into a modern facility with dedicated staff and management in place that handle all of the day-to-day operations. And because of this stability and success of Anderson Automotive, Jim, as the business owner, was able to discover a completely new and ever-growing passion that he now has and lives, and that is helping other shop owners in the business world. Along Jim's journey, he had the opportunity to work and learn from amazing business people in the industry, of leaders and coaches, and became one of them. He was also able to work with and alongside large companies and organizations in the industry, using his passion for public speaking and inspiring others through that, speaking, teaching, and coaching others through the hurdles and pitfalls of life and business. And we all know, well, I hope you don't know as hard as some of us know how that feels, sounds, and looks like. So he is there to help with his real shop coaching, real shops in the industry to gain traction. I'm super excited to have him here. So let's bring him up. Jim Anderson. Jim, good to have you here.
Excellent. Happy to be here. It's really exciting to get a chance to talk to you and all your viewers, and hopefully we can really spur some people on.
Yes. Well, that's what we do, right? Yeah. So I told the audience we're going to talk shop. And when we talk shop, I want to define what kind of shop. Of course, I know, what you do, but share with us a little bit. How did you get into this industry? What kind of shop are we talking about? And what do you specialize in? All of these questions.
I'm in the automotive industry, of course. And I got into it. It's a kind of a funny story. Way back in 5th grade, me and my friends, we were pretty hard on bicycles. We'd jump them, make ramps and everything. We were pretty hard on them. And in 5th grade, my parents bought me a brand new bicycle because, of course, I had broken my last one again. And they said to you, hey, here you go. Take care of it. This is the last new bicycle we're ever going to buy you. And I'm thinking, Yeah, right. That's just mom and dad talking. They weren't kidding. So when I broke it, they said, well, you better figure out how to fix it. And that's kind of how it started. I was buying used bicycles, fixing bicycles, building bicycles, and it moved on into when I came into cars, of course. And then one thing led to another, and I was in the automotive industry, and I started working on cars because I wanted to race and such. And at the time, if I wanted to go racing, I had to find a way to earn the extra money. So I'd work on cars nights and weekends, and that grew into a business. And I launched a one-man business in '99, and here we are today. This picture of my shop in the background. What happened is in around 2004, 5, 6, I figured out, I kind of know what my numbers and stuff are and such, but are they good? Are they bad? I didn't know. And so I got hooked up with a company that coaches and helps automotive shop owners work and fix on the business, because fixing and repairing cars, trucks, things of that nature requires a certain set of tools, of course. But working on diagnosing and repairing a business, entirely different toolbox. And unfortunately, it was a toolbox that I didn't have many tools in. So when I started learning how to do that, it became very obvious that our industry is full of a lot of people that are very passionate about it, but most of them are very good technicians that got tired of working for someone else, and they opened their own business, did a decent job taking care of customers, and they ended up with a company, whether they wanted one or not, or knew how to run one or not, just like me. And so long story short, I got asked to help with this other company. I started doing that. Then I became one of 3 people in the country certified to go do on-site inspections at the shops and watch them run and make recommendations. I was the most requested workshop speaker for that company. I've spoken at Vision and SEMA in Las Vegas. And it's just become a passion of mine to help other shop owners maybe not fall in all the pits I fell into, like you mentioned in your opening, the things you could trip over as a business owner. And so some very good colleagues of mine, Steve Eck out of Chicago, Mandy Bradshaw out of Austin, Texas, and Toby Condor, she's out of Palmer, Alaska, believe it or not, and myself in Iowa. We got together and formed Real Shop Coaching, where we work with other independent shop owners and basically anybody in any business it can relay over to. Because when we talk shop, this is a shop, but a lot of the principles and such spill over into just business ownership in general, being the owner, being the executive, growing your business and making it successful.
There were so many nuggets that you already shared, and I want to touch on some of them. So, we often create something that we needed ourselves. And I was on a show earlier today where I was on in your seat, and I was asked a very similar question. And with you being a shop owner, and I know Steve Eck, and he was on the Success Pattern show before as well. We have you personally, Jim, there's a passion, there's a purpose when you open the shop, right? Yeah. And I would assume it's loving to, fix cars and tune cars or I don't know. You tell me, what was your passion?
It goes beyond that. It's about providing a service that's needed and wanted in the community. Okay. And let's face it, not a lot of people get up in the morning and go, you know what? I think my car's broken today. I get to spend $1,000 fixing my car. This is great. No, it don't happen. So here's the situation. Nobody wants what I'm selling.
Okay? Everyone needs it.
They need what you're selling. Okay. Big difference when it comes to the enthusiasm to spend the money. Okay. So let's face it. Nobody likes to go get their car fixed. All right. So the biggest thing is I try to provide a service that A, solves their problem, B, makes them feel like they receive true service, and be there if there's issues in the future. And beyond that, we want to be a positive force in the community as well. Not just fixing cars. We want to be there to support other needs within the community. We like to do fun sponsorships. We like to do unique marketing. And we like to be a supportive member of the community in a way that we have a very positive presence, and we like to maintain that. And when somebody comes to get their car fixed and then they leave, I want them to feel good about the money that they had to spend not because they wanted to, they had to. And that's the biggest thing, is treating customers like people, not cattle.
Oh, amen. Yeah, that's a big one. You know, it's interesting that we have this conversation right now, because I posted a picture of my 79 El Camino the other day. I think it was on Sunday. I was giddy as a little girl because I took it to the shop. I have been waiting for this shop space for Travis here in Atlanta to open up a space so I can actually bring the El Camino in, so he gets to, you know, work on it. And it needs a lot of work, honestly. I've had the car for quite some time, but I'm excited. I'm excited to actually give Travis my money as he's fixing up the car so I can ride it. So I get what you're saying, and it's in a little different context. And when I went in to see Travis, and up until now, I only knew him from the phone because I was always calling in going, do you have a space? And I've been doing this for months and months and months and months and months. And I come in and I'm like, you must be really passionate about what you get to do. And he's got like, you know, he's got old Broncos and Mustangs and Chevelles and God knows what. He had a gremlin on there, like a green gremlin there as well. And he says, you know, you're right. I love it. And then we went into the office and there's all of this paperwork kind of spread out. And he goes, and this I don't like at all. And I guess that's where you also come into, what do you do when you have a shop owner like that, like Travis, that is so passionate about, yes, I mean, him and I, we connected. We built a relationship over months over an El Camino.
Yeah.
So there's a passion there, but how do you ignite that passion in areas of the business that if he would just neglect that area, he wouldn't be in business? Let's be honest.
Correct.
Well, how do you ignite that fire?
Well, first thing you got to do is find out if the client wants to be good in that area. There are a handful of shop owners that just want to work on the cars. I don't want to do payroll. I don't want to do PR and marketing and employee and HR. I don't want to do any of that. I just want to work on the cars. If that's the case, then you have to find that out and then set up a path of targets, goals, and areas to shoot for to put somebody else in charge. Okay, that's the exception. Someone like Travis, he wants to own his business, I would assume, but he doesn't want to do the paperwork and the things like that. Two reasons: they literally don't want to, or they just simply don't know how. So you give them the knowledge. Knowledge breeds confidence. Confidence breeds enthusiasm. And then enthusiasm gets stuff done. Yeah. It's that simple. Yeah. So if you give someone like Travis some of the tools to do some of those things, a shop owner will usually come about realizing, well, I don't mind doing, say, the marketing, and I don't mind doing the bookkeeping. I really don't want to deal with the software stuff, and I really don't want to deal with paying the bills, and they'll at least grab onto the parts of being an owner that they want to have, and then we give them the encouragement to delegate the rest. Here's a huge nugget: the growth of any organization is limited by the person at the top and their willingness to delegate duties and responsibilities to others.
Boom.
Okay. So many shop owners that we start a shop and we build it, and it's our little baby, and man, we got to take care of it. And we don't trust anybody else to take care of our baby as good as us. But what we don't realize is as we grow and we get bigger, we aren't taking quite as good a care of the baby as we thought we would. Where we used to be able to sit down and, like when you came into his shop and he spent, I don't know, 10, 5, 10, 20, 30 minutes, an hour with you, whatever that is. When we used to spend 15 minutes with a customer, now we're spending 7 minutes, then 6, 4, 2. We're not spending the same amount of quality of time. So we're not quite taking good care of the baby as we used to. Okay. And we don't realize that because it deteriorates over time, just like somebody's vision. The first time they get glasses, they're like, wow, I didn't believe how blind I was. So the biggest thing is to get to realize that we need help to take care of the shop, the business. And giving them the tools to do that with gives them the knowledge to take certain steps. Now they'll do so confidently. The biggest reason why he avoids the paperwork is it's an unknown. Or he literally just doesn't want to do it. Okay? So we either have to delegate that or get a little knowledge, then we'll take control of it. And getting that decision is part of what the coaching is all about.
Yeah. I hear this, and you might hear this question a lot as well from clients. And I want to ask you how you handle it. So the client would like to delegate, but they're in a pickle. They say, well, in order for me to hire, say, someone in marketing to do all of my PR and marketing stuff, for me to hire someone, I actually have to do more work in order to put them on the payroll to pay them for the service that they do.
Mm-hmm.
So now they're getting in a hamster wheel and they don't know what comes first. Mm-hmm. Do I hire that person first and then I make more money so I can pay them? Or do I hire them now, not make the money, and rely that they're making the money so I can pay them? Like it's a
paralysis, and I call it paralysis by analysis.
Yes.
And you just get in this. What do we do? The biggest thing is the wrong thing to do in any situation is nothing. That's the wrong thing always to do. Now, if you look at a situation, analyze it, think about it, and decide at this time the best thing to do is nothing, that's different, because you actually confronted it and you made the decision to do nothing. To stick your head in the sand and do nothing is always the wrong thing to do. So it's a situation you give me with Travis. What I would say to him is say, look, what is it that you're trying to get out of your marketing? We have to determine what it is that he needs and wants. As soon as you determine what he needs and wants, then you go about seeing what that would cost. And a lot of times, like with marketing, I wouldn't hire somebody. I would outsource it. Okay? All of my marketing and PR, my e-presence, it's all outsourced. My website and the SEO, it's all outsourced. I don't have anybody in-house. It's cheaper to outsource it in most instances. All my marketing, PR, and all my Facebook, all the e-presence is handled by a gentleman in Long Island, New York. All my web presence and SEO and everything is handled by a guy in Nashville. So we don't necessarily have to hire somebody to handle these things. They can be outsourced. But simply, it's delegating it. And delegating doesn't mean to somebody in your building. It can be somebody somewhere else.
Yeah. When you first heard about coaching, like you were in building your business and you first heard about coaching, what was your first mindset? What was your first thought?
Well, back then it was called consulting.
Okay.
And my mindset was, well, the first three letters of consultant is con. You know? And so it wasn't very good. I had a very, very skeptical attitude about it. And then once I started researching it and talking to people and such, and then I slowly came around, and then I started to see the benefit, obviously. I literally have seen my business grow every year, okay? And then we moved to a new location in 2016, and since I've been in this location, we've had higher sales every year, even through COVID. Every year was bigger than the last. And that all comes from what I learned and what I continue to teach other people. And I still get coaching. Believe it or not, I still have somebody I talk to when I need to bounce an idea off. Because what I hear so many times from clients is, Jim, you know, I go home and I talk to my wife or I talk to my friends, but they just don't get it. And the truth is, they're right.
Yeah.
They just don't get it.
Yeah.
Talking to somebody that shares your reality and has been there, done that, bought the t-shirt is so invaluable. Even if it's just simply as a sounding board. And honestly, the person that I do coaching with now is more of a sounding board than them giving me lots of information. It's to be able to have somebody like-minded with you. And I have two of them that I can call and say, hey, I got this going on, what do you think? You know, and we just talk it through honestly. And that's what a coach does. One of my best clients right now is a gentleman in Indiana. I won't mention names, but he is excellent at just, hey, here's what I'm thinking. What do you think? He's great at looking at all the perspectives and then making a decision. And like you said in your intro, a lot of us, gather cool ideas, but then don't do nothing with them. Well, he does. He takes information, he goes and does it. And that's what coaching is for, is to get somebody that isn't necessarily going to give you the magic pill or the 12-step recipe. It's about somebody that can understand your reality and talk you through and walk you through and help you through things that they have already been through. And that's what a coach does. The best athletes in the world still have coaches. You know?
I like to tell my coaches, and I certify coaches through the International Coaching Federation, and I say, when you're looking for a coach, here's the first question that you ask them. who is their coach? Who are they coaching with? And if they're not coaching with anyone, run for the hills.
Yeah.
When, we've gone through some crises in the last, I want to say 25 years and even before that.
Mm-hmm.
But let's just look at the last 25 years, because that's how long you've been in business. How did you handle, you mentioned the pandemic, and we had 2008 before that, and then we had 2011, 2012.
Mm-hmm.
How do you handle crisis? How did you get through that?
Well, the pandemic is one that everybody's kind of talked to and analyzed ad nauseum. They just have.
Yeah.
So let's talk about other, like right now, we're looking at a potential recession. We're looking at, so here's honestly back in, the crash of 2008 and all these things, it's going to sound funny, but you know what I did to arm myself against that?
What?
Was myself. Here's the thing. There's a lot of stuff in the media, and some people like it, some people don't. But let me ask you this. Can a farmer control the weather? Nope, he can't. So what can he do? Does he worry about the weather every day and day in? No, don't worry about what you can't control.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Do your best to plan at what you've got around you to make your recipe and your success work. All you can do is worry about and put input on the things you can control. Don't get so wrapped up in everything out there. And I get into big discussions with clients. Like right now, there's a lot about economy, banking news. In fact, at my team meeting, we have a team meeting every Tuesday. Team meeting this morning, somebody said about this, something with going on. And I'm like, what are you talking about? They said, what do you mean? I said, well, I don't watch the news. I don't. I really don't get wrapped up. And we can get into a lot of discussion about that. But more often than not, the media is there to tell you what to be afraid of and who's to blame for it.
Mm.
And they mix in a few good stories. But the thing is worry about what's around you. So what I did at that time is I concentrated on what my customers needed and wanted. And I did that by talking to them and asking them and being in good communication. Good communication solves so many problems. It's the universal solvent. And if you stay in touch with your clients and your team and make sure that you're taking care of their needs and wants, there's a really good motivational speaker that's since deceased. I'm drawing a blank really quick. But he always said, you can have anything you want in life if you help enough other people get what they need and want.
Zig Ziglar,
yeah. Sorry. The train story of his is my best, most favorite one too, by the way. The two guys working for the railroad. But anyway, that's so true. All you got to do is focus on the people around you and help them get what they need and want. You do that, success will take care of itself. It'll come along for the ride.
Now,
so you be aware of the things. Like I'm aware occasionally, like with the pandemic, I was aware of what was out there. I was aware of what people were thinking. I was aware of how they were feeling, but I wasn't getting too wrapped up in trying to change that or affect it. I just stayed in good communication so I could be aware of what's going on. I read some news online and I read some different things, but I don't sit down and watch an hour of news on TV. I just don't. I know enough just to be slightly aware so I can understand where people are coming from, but then I just worry about what do you need and want? What can I do for you to satisfy your needs and wants and to help you solve your problems?
So you're not reacting, you are course correcting. You have a plan, you're course correcting if something happens.
Yeah.
Like 2008, we all, no one was prepared. And I remember, and I can't remember which book it was, but I remember reading a book way before 2008 that talked about any company that grows during a crisis is going to be a very strong and successful company.
Yep.
And I remember going into 2008 and overnight, I just lost one client after another. I have a Montessori school and, everyone just pulled their children because they couldn't pay the tuition anymore. Yep. And I remember that. And that's what kept me going. I was like, I don't know how I'm going to make it till tomorrow. But that's all I need to focus on right now. How we're going to make it to tomorrow, and then how we're going to make it to the next day, and how we're going to make it to the next day. And that's, not getting, I think what you were saying, what I was hearing is not getting caught up, caught up in all of the other stuff.
Yeah, because you can't control it.
No, exactly.
I can't control how the federal government's going to spend money. I have no control of it. Do I need to be aware that something's going on? Sure. But what I can control is how we handle our customers in our community, how we deliver those needs and services. Because even with the pandemic and all that, cars still needed serviced and repaired.
Everyone.
How do we need to go about doing that to fulfill the customer's needs? Because automotive repairs, see, I don't sell car repairs. I don't sell automotive service. I sell solutions to problems.
That's right.
That's it. A customer has a problem that they can't solve. It happens to be with their car. They come to me. They want to purchase a solution. Okay? And that's what all business is.
Isn't that, yeah, I was going to say, isn't that the same thing when you coach like shop owners, right? They're shop owners and then they're shop owners. And then I'm pretty sure they're shop owners that, you know, need your help, really are looking for your help. But if they're not coachable and teachable, well, you can talk all day.
Yes. And I've run into some of those that they just, you know, that won't work. That won't work. That won't work. Well, if you're not willing to try anything, if you're not willing to give anything an honest effort, if you're not willing to consider another perspective or another point of view or another need, then that there's certain people that are difficult or impossible to coach. It's called fixed ideas. When somebody has a fixed idea and they're not going to change it, there's not much you can do. There's a very old and it's very antiquated, but it's like when they say when you have an unintelligent person that knows they're unintelligent, you can kind of work with them because they know that they got room to improve. When you have a smart person, an intelligent person that thinks they're unintelligent, you can work with that because they think there's room to improve. When you have an unintelligent person that thinks they're intelligent, there's nowhere to go because they already think they have all the answers.
Here are 3 words that I look for when I identify if I want to work with someone. And if they're habitually using these 3 words, I run. I'm like, I can't work with you. And those are the 3 words. I know that. Because if they know already, then what are they going to do?
Why are they on the phone with you?
What are they going to learn? They're not going to learn. They already made up their mind that they already know everything.
Yes. And that's you know, a friend of mine gave me coined a phrase that they're called no besties. They know best. You know, and I said, okay, yeah, I thought it was kind of funny, but yeah, and that's just it. So there's some people that I can't work with, that I can't help, you know. And Steve, Toby, Mandy, and I, we're all from the industry, and we have value, we have knowledge. We obviously, every one of us has successful businesses, and we've been through the pitfalls. We've made those mistakes. We've done the bonehead moves. We're here to help you not have to go through them. And the thing is, it does translate over into other businesses. They don't necessarily have to be an automotive shop to talk to us. Any type of service-based industry, a lot of the same things apply.
Yeah. So you work with shops, may they be automotive or other shops, all around the United States. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Not just
and I've actually even helped a shop owner in the Middle East, in Oman.
Oh, in Oman, that's interesting.
Oman, yeah, over by Saudi Arabian Peninsula, but and some Canadian shops. But the biggest thing, yes, continental United States. I've been in all but 8 states helping shop owners. And yeah, I've got connections, like kind of cool. I've got connections pretty much all over the country. If I ever have an automotive need or a friend from somewhere, hey, I've got a problem. Hey, go down and see so-and-so, you know.
I called Steve Eck, and I said, listen, I have this El Camino and it's fixing. I don't even know where to begin. And he hooked me up with someone. It wasn't Travis, but he hooked me up with someone else. And that's the kind of people, right? Everyone has a great network, and it's the people that are willing to do great work in the world, that will connect you with whoever they have in their network. That's the kind of person that you are. How do people get in touch with you, Jim?
Best way is email, jim@realshopcoaching.com. Put the Jim at in the front of that. That's also my personal email you can reach me at. And just reach out and ask me, you know, what's going on, and we can go from there. It's really simple, and I enjoy talking to anybody about what they got going on and see if we're a good fit and we can help them out.
Yeah, fantastic. So your website is realshopcoaching.com, really easy, realshopcoaching.com. So get with Jim on realshopcoaching.com, or tell us your Gmail again, your email address.
theautomobilist@gmail.com or jim@realshopcoaching.com.
Fantastic.
Yep.
Jim, your last empowering words to us as we end today. What would you say to us?
Here's the biggest thing that I always tell people. Never underestimate the power of acknowledgement. When it comes to your crew, your customers, anybody, thank you. A simple thank you. When my guys are here and we have a really good day, I make sure to go out and thank them at the end of the day every day. Say, hey, thank you for the effort today. It was an awesome effort. Even if the day, you couldn't get nothing to go right if you tried. You still go out there and say, you know what? I know we didn't get the result we wanted, but thank you for the effort. Tomorrow's going to be better. It costs you nothing.
Yes. And it's so important. Thank you for sharing that with us. And thank you for being on the Success Pattern Show. It was great to have this conversation.
I enjoyed it. It was great. Yes. Nice being here. Yeah.
So,
and real quick, the first person to reach out with a situation that we can work with, I'll work out a 30-minute no charge coaching session.
Oh, okay, guys, did you hear that? So the first one, and there's only one, so the
first one that fits, it's got to fit. Free 30-minute coaching session.
Fantastic, Jim. Thank you so much. You have such a kind and giving heart. Thank you for being on.
Not a problem. Anytime. Glad I can help.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in for the Success Pattern Show today. We will see you again next week, same time, same place. Remember to invite folks because they will also love to learn all of these nuggets as we had from Jim today. Thanks, Jim. Thanks, everyone.
Right.
Thank you for tuning in, and you will notice opportunities to apply success patterns daily while eagerly anticipating next week's content-rich success patterns.